Hello and good afternoon. Thank you so much. It's quite exciting to see over 140 people that have joined in to listen to Capital Markets talk about really important items. Karibu, and it's such a pleasure. My name is Conrad Afande. I'm in Investor Education and Public Awareness at Capital Markets Authority, and it's such a pleasure. Now, we've got a program that starts from now up until about 5:30. You'll get a chance to hear some really important speakers, and we've got some special guests, including our Chief Executive, who's made time to be with us today, and I know he's had a very busy day. But just a few housekeeping rules. I know that you can see some panelists that are there, and if you've got any questions, I suggest that you can actually type your questions at the bottom of your screen as we continue with the presentation. Or if you want to speak a bit later, you can actually raise your hand at the bottom and we can give you a chance to speak. We've got about half an hour at the end. So if you've got your questions, you can actually hold them until much later in the program, okay? So let me start by introducing our senior manager for education, awareness and certification, Bwana Kamunyu Njoroge, to kind of give us some introductory remarks so we can set the stage. Karibu, Bwana Kamunyu.
Thank you very much, Conrad, for that introduction. Mine will be very simple, just to welcome everyone to this very important workshop. We are very glad to have you on board, and we are very happy to have the PS for investment promotion, Mr. Abubakar, in the house. We also are happy to have our Chief Executive, Mr. Wycliffe Shamia. I think they'll be speaking to you shortly. So we are very glad, we are very excited for this moment. I think the idea of this workshop is really to ensure that we get people who have been able to pry the market, people who have been able to invest in this market, people who have been able to safeguard investment in the capital market industry, coming on board to speak about their experiences, even as they do that, and also to speak about their experiences in the investment in this industry, and just how they have seen people grow from beginners to expert in this particular field. So we thought that we'll start beginning to have this series of youth forums to be able to have youth get to be spoken to by people they respect, people they know, and people who have been able to invest in this market and make money. And we could not have better individuals than the PS for investment promotion, who has been once a member of the Capital Market Authority. He's been a person who has actually been able to apply the market fast as an investor, also as an individual who has been able to supervise and regulate the capital market industry. So we are very glad, and obviously our Chief Executive need no introduction as well. He's a long-term professional in this particular market. So we'll be having them speaking to us, but more importantly, just open your minds, open your eyes, and just listen to these gentlemen. We'll also be having a presentation by Lucy Jaramba, just really to open up some of the areas that maybe a lot of us would want to have ideas around. So we're very excited to be here, and I can see there are very many people who have actually come on board. Let's just get into it and enjoy this moment. I'm here with the team of Conrad, as you can see him. We also have within ourselves here Lucy Jaramba, also from the Capital Market Authority. We also have Zevania Chebi, also from the Capital Market Authority. We are all here, a team that is very ready and willing to really support you through this particular webinar. Without further ado, let me just now take this opportunity to welcome my Chief Executive, Mr. Wycliffe Shamia, to give his remarks. Mr. Shamia, please.
So thank you so much, Samuel Kamunyu, for giving me this opportunity to speak quite to a number of us about what we do in capital markets. And hopefully from there, and then we can see what can be done so that those who have a lot of interest, those who can see opportunities within capital markets can then, of course, take advantage of the same. So I'll do a brief speech, then, of course, there will be session where maybe we can respond to some of the issues that those who are in the call may have. But first, let me, first of all, thank our PS Investment Promotion in the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment, Mr. Abubakar Hassan Abubakar. I want to thank those who have found time to join us. I'm excited today. I'm speaking to the youths who to us, I think, are very important. Those who come from the market, my colleagues, good afternoon and good evening. First, I would like to register my appreciation to all of you for taking time off your very busy schedules to attend this very important engagement that seeks to equip the youth with the pertinent information towards future wealth creation. I'm also very happy that our PS, Mr. Abubakar Hassan Abubakar, the PS State Department of Investment Promotion, has found time to grace this occasion as the chief guest. This is a testament to the commitment from the government to support the authorities' awareness initiatives in Kenya and abroad. CMA is committed to broadening its investor education initiatives with a view of reaching various constituents within the country. This is geared towards enhancing financial literacy and in particular ensuring that Kenyans appreciate the various investment opportunities and the risks and rewards associated with investments in capital markets. It is this in the sense that we have been conducting a series of bi-weekly webinars targeting the various constituents of our awareness program with particular focus on the youth and women. It is my hope that this meeting will, among others, deliberate on interventions that are needed to move the market forward, to include 1, enhancing joint programs with strategic partners towards initiatives targeting retail and institutional investors with a view to increasing capital markets products uptake. 2, embracing technology as a means of increasing uptake. 3, enhancing programs to boost confidence in the various financial sectors by both retail and institutional investors. You may note that globally and in Kenya, many stock markets have declined substantially, and it has been argued that in some instances, the extent of the decline may not be commensurate with the fundamentals of the affected companies, but rather macroeconomic factors that present an excellent opportunity for the new investors, such as yourselves, to buy or to see opportunities in the markets. Allow me to highlight some of the key development programs with respect to the progress we are making. 1, as capital markets regulators, we have been very supportive of capital markets mobile apps that are being generated by different players within the market. We also have introduced and will be launching very soon our capital markets mobile app, which you can find on Google Play Store, that will facilitate market access and information. 2, we are partnering with universities and the youth groups on various initiatives. And let me, at this point, also just mention that we are very pleased to announce that Masinde Muliro University last week launched their very first Capital Markets Students Association to encourage uptake and information sharing. CMA was excited to be part of the launch, and I am actually thinking this is the way the others may look at it. I also think we have been very supportive in supporting other events, such as we have an upcoming Capital Markets Virtual Open Day to allow interactive one-on-one engagements with our intermediaries. More information will be provided on our website and social media. Today's event will allow us to discuss challenges and opportunities for the youth as we know them. I think we've seen from the data we get that majority of the participants in capital markets who trade are between the ages of 26 to 75 years, trading a value of up to 60 billion Kenya shillings. What is interesting is that the brackets between 19 to 35 years olds trade a value of almost 5 billion Kenya shillings. This demonstrates an opportunity for increased participation through continued engagements towards wealth creation. I once again want to reiterate our support, and especially for those who are setting up mobile apps and other platforms that ensure there is convenience for those who want to access opportunities within the capital markets. Still on the same, the authority continues to leverage technology as a strategy aimed at restoring growth driven through innovative, sustainable, and responsive regulations. We have also supported increased fintech within the capital markets, as demonstrated by the success of our regulatory sandbox program, which includes fund management solutions, such as robo-advisory services and others. With these remarks, I really want to wish us a very good interactions, and I encourage us to be interactive and let us share freely. Thank you so much, and I take you back to Conrad Afande.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Shamia. I can hear the people clapping right now in the back of my head, but you just can't hear the microphone. Thank you so much. And again, we appreciate how busy you are. And I know that you've had some board meetings the whole day, so it's appreciated. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the main event, and I know that you're waiting for the chief guest, we've got another special presentation. Now, Lucy, where are you? Lucy Jaramba. Ah, there you are. Now, I understand you've got some important things to share with the people here. So we're exciting, man. My ears are burning just to hear what you've got to say for about 15 minutes. So take it away.
Thank you, Conrad. Thank you for the opportunity. And our chief guest, Bwana PS, our CEO, Mr. Shamia, and our esteemed stakeholders, thank you for this opportunity and welcome all. I will just take you through a very brief presentation so that we can get to the chief guest speech. Let me just share my presentation in 1 minute. Conrad, maybe you can confirm if you can see the presentation.
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Okay, let me make it in presentation mode. Thank you. My name is Lucy. I'm one of the staff members of the Education Awareness and Certification Officer department, and I'll just take you through the presentation, which is on leveraging, how you can leverage technology to be able to participate in capital markets. I know majority of you have been able to join us in our previous webinars, where we have been able to discuss and take members through the various products, various capital markets products. So today I will not detail on the products, but I will just take you through how you will be able to participate leveraging technology in some of the capital markets products. But before that, just an overview that the capital markets is a public agency. Maybe for those who have attending this forum for the first time, we are a public agency set up through the Act of Parliament, and our vision is to be the innovative regulator of a robust and globally competitive capital market. And true to this vision, we have lived to it, because a couple of years we've been given some awards for being the most innovative regulator in Africa. So the authority, where the authority sits in the Kenya's financial sector, is that we report to the National Treasury, and then we work alongside the CBK, that normally regulates the commercial banks, the Retirement Benefits Authority that takes care of our pension, the Insurance Regulatory Authority that also takes care of the insurance companies, and the SASRA that regulates the SACCOs. So the three, we form the financial regulators. We are part of the financial services regulator, and we collaborate on various aspects and on various initiatives, as well as sharing information as and when required. So now we get to see how we can be able to invest in most of the capital markets products, leveraging technology. And I will just talk about the vanilla products, and this includes the collective investment schemes. And as previously indicated, the collective investment schemes are usually pooled funds, where the licensed fund managers normally collect funds from various groups or various individuals or various institutions, and then they are able to invest the huge sum that is collected in various products. And under that, the investors normally get a return for their investment, and that is how they normally benefit when they invest under collective investment schemes. And collective investment schemes are usually they don't require a very huge capital for you to invest. Depending on the fund manager, you can invest even as little as 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, depending on the fund manager that you select. So how are you able to invest in collective investment schemes? Through leveraging technology. As our chief executive has talked about, has indicated in his speech, the authority developed a capital markets app, Capital Markets Authority app, and the app links all the online platforms from the licensed market intermediaries, such that besides getting the information on pertinent information on capital markets, you are also able to invest online, so that through the platforms of the various market intermediaries. So, and I would urge all the participants to be able to download the app. It's available both on App Store and Play Store, and from the app you'll be able to get to see all these online platforms, so that you're able to invest from the comfort of your house or from the comfort of wherever you are. In the app, you'll also be able to get the approved or the current list of CMA licenses, so that you're able to deal with only the licenses that have been approved, and avoid incidences where people are sometimes lured into investing with unlicensed entities. The products are also clearly highlighted there. You'll get information on the products that are regulated by the capital markets, as well as you'll be able to get current news and alerts and information that you may need with regard to capital markets, including the ABCs of how to invest and the process of investing and what you need to do to be able to invest in capital markets. Basically, this is just the app you can be able to download even as you listen to this workshop. The other thing is investing in shares. And here, when we talk about shares, is where you become, you become a part of owner of a company. We have several listed companies at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, about 64. And when you buy shares of any of the counters or any of the company, you become a part owner of that company, and you will be said to be investing in shares. And you know, when you invest in shares, you'll be able to be getting dividend even when, as and when the companies declares profits, and as an investor, you benefit by getting a dividend from that company. So how would you be able to invest in shares through technology? We have an app that has been launched. It's called Dosika, and this app facilitates you to trade on the shares that are listed at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. And you will be able to keep track of your investments through the app. You're able to enhance your financial inclusion, and the app is able to enhance financial inclusion as well as empower people, such that you don't have to really have a lot of money to be able to save. You can, with the app which you are able to download on your phone, anytime you get some money, you can be able to look at the prices of the various counters or the various shares, and you'll be able to decide and trade online and say what you want to buy and or what you want to sell. So that makes it very fast and very convenient for investors. The other product I wanted to talk about is about how to invest in bonds. And bonds here, we are talking about lending money, say, to the government or to a corporation. Basically, when a bond is issued, a government bond is issued, it is the government is trying to borrow money from the investors. So you would be lending money to a government, or if it's a corporate bond, then you'll be lending your money into the corporation. And once you invest in a bond, you normally get and some interest at the end of every 6 months, and you normally get your principal at the end of the tenure of the bond. So the Central Bank of Kenya has made investing in securities go mobile, and they have developed an app or a platform that is called Treasury Mobile Direct, or CBK TMD. And all you need to do is first you need to register to be able to have a CDS account at the central bank, and then activate your mobile line, have an active mobile line from the, and the mobile line has to be registered from the network providers. And then once you do that, you will be able to fill some registration forms. These are basically it's a process for the central bank to be able to know their client or know your customer procedure. And then after that, once your registration form is approved, you will be able now to use the USSD code, which is *866#, and then you'll be able to follow the steps, and you will be able to trade to buy bonds or to whenever they are floated. We also used to have the M-Akiba bond. Currently, it's not available, but discussions with the government are that this will be issued in the future. And we urge participants to also take advantage of that, because they were also very convenient and they were paying some good interest, and they were also, the M-Akiba also helped quite a number of retail investors to be able to save, to do some savings and invest. Now, besides those three technologies that I've discussed, we have other innovative solutions that have come up through our regulatory sandbox. CMA has been able to exit various innovations, all of them aimed at adding value to the financial services or financial industry, financial services industry. And some of them are the Chums app, there's VUCA investment platform, there are robo-advisors. If you Google all this, you'll be able to get more details and be able to see how you would be able to utilize the platforms to your advantage and become part of the investors within the industry. And just for purposes of knowing where you can send your complaints or where you can make inquiries, we have provided a number of, you can get in touch with the Capital Markets Authority through our website. We have an online portal. We have a whistleblower portal that is online. You can also visit us online or drop us an email. All the contacts, this presentation will also be shared and you'll be able to pick the contact, be it whether you want to engage NSC or CMA. And with that, Conrad, I think that is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think let me put my volume. Okay, thank you very much, Lucy. That was a lot of good information. I think for me, what's a takeaway is that we've got the Capital Markets mobile app. And in fact, I see a lot of people asking about where to get the presentation and the video. Well, it's going to be loaded on your app. And at the same time, you're talking about the Dosika. In fact, just about half an hour before we started the forum, a few people here were actually trading shares on Dosika. So it gets a bit addictive. So it's a good way to get all the information about your shares. And it's exciting that the CBK will give Wananchi a chance to actually buy bonds and treasury bills directly from the mobile phone. So you no longer have to go and fill up the forms at the center. And then you no longer have to wait to see when it matures. So that's really exciting. So at this point, I'd like to give it back to our chief executive, who will invite Bwana Wycliffe Sharma to invite our chief guest to make his keynote remarks. So Bwana Sharma to invite Bwana Abubakar to make his keynote remarks. I think Bwana Sharma, if you can hear us.
Can I call you?
Yes. We ask you to please invite Bwana chief guest to make his remarks, Bwana chief executive.
Okay, so thank you, Conrad. Let me just put on my my video. So it is my great pleasure just to invite my friend, and I think it is good we have Abubakar speaking to us today, because he's a young man. I have known him since he was young, and I know he's very able. So he has quite a bit of experience and knowledge around what we are discussing today, which is very important. Maybe people asking hard questions. Am I sure that my investment is safe, and will I get what I'm expecting? So I think I can say this evening we are happy, we are lucky to have Abubakar Hassan Abubakar, who is the PS Investment Promotion. I want to invite him to speak to us. Bwana PS, feel free. I think you can make your remarks. And thank you so much. If you were somewhere and then we'll be clapping, but feel free just to go on. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. My former boss, Bwana CEO Wycliffe Sharma, CEO of Capital Markets Authority, my former colleagues, directors and senior managers, student leaders and ambassadors, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is indeed my pleasure to join you this evening to mark yet another event aimed at deliberating on pertinent issues that are of great importance to the youth community, with particular emphasis on investments and wealth creation. Indeed, financial literacy helps in budgeting, saving, and informed investments. I must admit, but before I admit, there are three deficits, problems which Kenyan government or this administration is trying to solve. One, in addition to budget deficit, in addition to balance of payment deficit, which is about trade deficit, the deficit which we are trying to address with all our efforts is investment to saving deficits. Our savings rate is around 10%, and for us to reach or to achieve the middle income status, we need an investment of around 25% of GDP. So we are in the gap of 50%. Ladies and gentlemen, I must admit that I'm nostalgic today being part of this program. As some of you may be aware, my career started in CMA over 10 years ago, where I rose through various ranks to become the Director of Market Operations before my current position as a Principal Secretary in charge of investment promotion. My State Department has committed to ensure that the youth and women get to learn more in how to grow their business and sources for investors to support their growth. As the PS for State Department of Investment Promotion, I've ensured that all the parastatal under my State Department prioritize the youth in job opportunities and capacity building. For example, the Export Processing Zone Authority will be having quarterly workshops with the youth to enable them understand the opportunities and exportation and how they can go about it. All the investors that we have brought them to invest in Kenya, we have an agreement with them that their first priority for casual and professional jobs should be the youth and the women who qualify for the jobs. We are also working to ensure that the youth businesses are competitive to get partnership with international investors. As a citizen of Kenya who started my career in capital markets, I can assure you that the information gathered through such forums will be actualized through increased investment and wealth for our youth. I'm also aware that although this forum primarily targets the youth, I'm pleased that other constituents, such as women and professionals, are also included and can benefit from presentation since we are all potential investors in the capital markets. Ladies and gentlemen, that said, allow me to echo the importance of this target audience, emphasizing on the youth of our country. According to the recent data, there are 1.2 billion young people aged between 15 and 24 years, accounting for 16% of the global population. By 2030, the target for sustainable SDG that make up the 2030 agenda, the number of youth is projected to have grown by 7% to nearly 1.3 billion. In 15 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, half of the population is under the age of 18. Here in Kenya, 47% of the population is under 15. They face problems unique to their age groups, including over 30% unemployment. They also lack access to finance that works for them. 23% of 18 to 25-year-old are excluded from financial services. This is indeed where such initiatives are very relevant. I'm pleased to note that Kenyan youth are learning about money from their parents from as early as 4 or 5 years old. In fact, my daughter, who is 5 years old, also is financially included through a mobile phone. By 18, almost a third have mobile money accounts. It is in this regard that leveraging mobile technology, such as Capital Markets mobile app that the CEO mentioned, as well as the Seeker app, will no doubt increase financial inclusion and uptake among the youth. It is the vision of His Excellency the President that before the youth get into any or into his next or her next hustle should be trading in the stocks in the stock exchange through their mobile phone instead of betting. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the cultural attribute changes that the government is supporting is the instant money mentality, mostly among the youth. The youth should focus on long-term horizon investment like the one in the capital markets, because capital markets outperforms almost all other asset classes in the long term. We are therefore committed to building a financially literate generation and will continue to commit resources to realize a number of programs that will enable the youth to effectively save and invest within the capital markets. You can see even the Hustler Fund loan arrangement, it has a saving element in it so that it can be invested for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, young people need to be supported and mentored to venture into manufacturing, and in particular, our priority area, agri-processing and value addition. The government is open to incubating your ideas at Kenya Industrial Research Department Institute, which falls under our ministry, or at our export processing zone and special economic zones. The president has initiated or has formed a national investment program that in each county, there will be a county aggregation industrial park. It's because youth suffers from high concentration of work opportunities in few urban centers. This has led to increased rural-urban migration, high rural unemployment, and disruption of social structure. This county aggregation industrial park will encourage establishment of new industry, creating more jobs in each and every county based on their comparative advantages, resource availability, and infrastructure. Inside the parks, there will be also technology parks that will enable youth to test their ideas and develop them for the market. The government is open. I'm delighted that the authority has a robust program also targeting women constituents in addition to the youth. The example of the Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology Capital Market Student Association here with us today is a testament to the fruits of our joint labor. Again, let me register my sincere appreciation to everyone who is here today. The fruits of our continued partnership will certainly be realized in the few years to come. Thank you very much.
Bwana PS, I think we thank you so much for your remarks. And obviously, you just summarizing how we can work with you, the plans the government has for capital markets of, I think, activities. We want to thank you for even going through that in a very elaborate manner. And we look forward to engaging you even further so that we can assist the youth and the women who you have spoken about very fondly. At this, let me.
But I can allow myself to be grilled by the youth if they have anything they want to ask me.
Yes,
they can ask me.
Okay, so through Conrad.
Okay, thank you very much. Such a pleasure. And Bwana PS, I think it's a testament. I can see we've had the most number of attendees just by putting your picture on the poster of this forum. So if you were a derivative, I think it'd be very rich people. So I think you've got some questions that we've been answering. Some of them, of course, we'll take it from here. But just a couple of questions that let me just quickly respond to. Then we'll open it up for those of you that can either type your question or raise your hand. I can see you raised your hand. But there's a question about de-dollarization and the impact on trading investment. That question requires a longer discussion because, as you know, de-dollarization, which is the the process of using another currency other than the US dollar, to buy US dollars for other investments. Right now, we've got issues with inflation. We've got issues with the Kenyan shilling devalued. There's a global almost not recession, but there's a global currency issue. There's a war in Ukraine. So I think there's so many macro factors to have a position on digitalization, but that requires it. Maybe we can include that in another forum. There's a very good question from Ambassador Beja. It talked about in the first 2 quarters that there's been a decline. Is this the best time to buy shares? And let me say, we always tell the youth, the best time to buy shares is when it's low. You buy when it's low and you sell when it's high. Okay, so I think, and I'm not just saying that because in capital markets, this is a depressed global economy. It's a good time to take advantage of a depressed price of shares. So they obviously will go up a bit later when things get better. So I've got a team that will respond to the chat questions in the interest of time. But I would ask, and of course, we may not be able to answer every question because the PS is a busy man. But I will see some raised hands, and I will open up your microphone and give you just I'll give you just a question, a minute to ask a question. I can see Viola, so I'll allow you to talk and ask a question.
The question is to the PS, right?
Yes. Now listen. Keep in mind, these are the questions to the PS, please. Yeah, the question to the PS. Okay, I'll take 3 questions. Yes, give me 3 questions. If I can't answer tough questions, they'll be answered by my former boss. That's the power of being the PS. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 4 questions now. I'm trying. Okay, there we go. So Viola, you can ask your. Okay, sorry. Let me. Okay, I think you can ask a question. Okay, I don't know if you're having any trouble. Can you send me a message? Are you having any trouble, Viola? Okay, we'll come back to you. We've got June Chepkemei. I'm allowed to talk.
Thank you very much. My name is June Chepkemei. I'm the Managing Director, Kenya Investment Authority, and I'm just here to support my boss, the PS, to reiterate to the young people that there is space for you to invest. We are open to have conversations on investment opportunities and how to support you to invest. And as a show of leadership through our PS, we have introduced a program that we are calling it Investment Masterclasses, and this is targeted at high schoolers and university students, and it's being championed by our PS, who will be going round in select schools and universities to just make investment cool. We want to make investment sexy, and we want the young people, as they grow, they need to understand that investment is not just for the older generation, but you have a chance to chart your future by thinking and investing early. Majority of schools have started allowing students to have cards as their pocket money. And so that will be our first target group, where we'll be encouraging them to save. And as they save, we show them where to put that money. And we appreciate our PS for challenging us to come up with that program. And when we launch it, we'll definitely invite you to join us. We worked very well before with Masinde Muliro. They're switched on, and we are going to continue working together. Lastly, we'd like to invite you to our Kenya International Investment Conference that will take place between 29th and 31st in Nairobi. And we are happy to give you a chance to run a session on financial literacy and investments within the capital markets. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I like that. But a PS, I like that pitch.
Thank you, June. That is why you're the CEO of Kenya Investment Authority.
Thank you very much, and I think we'll be doing a lot of work together, June, and it's a pleasure. And congratulations on your appointment as well. And I think we'll continue that discussion in future forums. Asante sana. Now, I'm not sure, Viola. I think now you can unmute your microphone and make your comment, Viola.
So, Conrad, let me. I'm off for another meeting. Let me allow June. So any question can go to June straight.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks again. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
So again, June, we're together. Some questions maybe of a capital markets nature, and we can handle that. But any questions specific to KenInvest, we can direct it to you. But I think Viola was in the process of making a comment.
Yes, thank you, Conrad. I just wanted to reiterate that the sandbox is open for participation by the youth and even women. Currently, we are trying to seek out development partners that can support the scaling up of innovation. So we'd really be happy if we can get views from the delegates today on some of the products, innovations, and services that they can offer to the sandbox. And the contact email is src@cma.or.ke. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And just for transparency, Viola is our Senior Product Development Officer at Capital Markets Authority. And when she talked about the regulatory sandbox, it's just, we have a program here where if you've got an innovative solution, particularly on fintech, you can actually, we have an environment where you can test it with a few customers, and then eventually you can actually launch it to the public. So it's a program. We've got a lot more information about that on our website. Okay, so now we've got a question from Patrick Magoya. So I'd allow you to ask your questions very briefly. You've got the floor. Patrick, you can unmute. Yes.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, very loud and clear. Thank you.
So I am Patrick Mugoya, and my question is this. I've had the CMA, I had it long, they had a program for campuses where you could maybe, you are given some time, you learn something, and then later on they kind of test your knowledge. But I never got the chance because I tried to apply that time and maybe I didn't go through. I don't know if the program is still on or you try to bring something else to the market.
Okay, thank you. I think we've got our proprietor of the University Challenge, Bana Kamunyi Njoroge, who I believe will have something to say about that, because he's been getting that question a lot. So Kamunyi, please.
No, thank you very much, Conrad. Yes, indeed, we've been running a University Challenge, and it's unfortunate that you're not able to enter. Just be on the lookout. Certainly in the future, we'll be doing another one and should be able to enter. So what we actually do is just get together with the university dons and also student leaders, and then we're able to organize students for participation. And it's a competition that goes through the whole country, and whoever wins, then there are very key prizes to be won, including money to buy shares, including a trip to an emerging market, either in Africa or in Asia. So just be on the lookout, and you can also drop a line to some of us here, and then we'll be able to just get in contact with you when that opportunity comes. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. And just to mention, as much as we had the University Challenge, we also have other types of competitions. A few months ago, we had what we call a FinTalk competition. A FinTalk competition is where we had participants load videos on TikTok, not those crazy funny videos, you know what I'm talking about, not those crazy ones, but a video, an informative video about capital markets, and the winner gets a prize to buy shares. So be on the lookout, and
yes.
We're certain, like when you said, it's certainly coming. We can take what we can do right now. I can see we can take Patrick. I'll lower your hand down. Thank you very much for that. We can take like 3 more questions. I can see a Francis Jaramba. I don't know if there's any relation to. I don't know if that's like Lucy's younger brother or cousin. So anyway, so let me allow Francis to ask a question. Francis Jaramba, you have the floor.
So thank you very much for giving me this chance to ask my question. So I've been elated to learn about CMA and the new apps that they have come up with. So my question was, I just wanted to know how have you been incorporating the youth, maybe in making these apps? Have you been having them maybe for even internships, attachments, or such things? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I know Lucy. Let me ask your namesake, not pun intended, but let me ask Miss Jaramba to answer that question. Whoa, I like that punchline. Boom, right there. Okay, you got it.
Thank you, Jaramba. We normally have opportunities for internships and attempts or in vacancies here and there. And so what I would urge is for you to keep checking our website. We have a careers portal where all vacant positions or all vacant positions are advertised, whether internships or temps, and you're supposed to submit your application through that same portal. So you don't need to send us your application via email. Just keep checking. If and when there's an opportunity, you can submit through the same portal. I hope that answers you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. And now we can take 3 more questions, and then we can see how we can respond, because we've got a lot of questions on the chat. And in the interest of time, we'll take 3 more burning questions. And I can see Felix Odhiambo, and then we'll take 2 more. And if you've got any questions, you can put that on the chat, and we'll go through the chat as we conclude.
Conrad, there's a question around how you can start a CMA club in the university. I think that's a question you might want to respond to.
Okay, thank you very much. So Felix, before you speak, let me answer that question. Bwana, that's a very good question, and I actually noted that question. And I'm sure you're asking the question because you heard Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, or MUST, started a club. And let me tell you this. It actually started during the University Challenge about 3.5 years ago, where they suggested that we can have a club and how to go about it. And then unfortunately COVID came, and then it sort of stalled. But after things got better, they actually came to the CMA and they asked for our guidance in how a club is formed. And they actually, we asked them, we guided them on the structure. We asked them to prepare a manifesto, almost like a legal document that clearly spells out your objectives and the outcome, and how the management structure of the club will be, and if there are any copyright infringements in terminologies that you can't use. So we went a bit of back and forth with the university, and then it's advisable to have a lawyer as well look at the document. And then once it's formed, you have to register it. You have to register it as a club, through your association. Once that's done, we're happy to come and launch it. Okay, and just for the record, a club does not have to be from a university. A club can be from a youth group investment club as well, not just university. So thank you for that. So Felix Odhiambo, sorry.
Maybe just, Conrad, sorry, I know I'm interrupting your program.
No, that's right.
Just there is a question that was asked, and I think it is to June from Ken Invest, about, she said that there's going to be a investment conference between 29th and 31st. And they're asking which is the month.
Yes, Bwana CEO.
All right, I'll take that up. The conference will be on between 29th and 31st at Safari Park Hotel, Nairobi. That is of May. It is part of the Madaraka Day celebration, and it kicks off with KIICO, Kenya International Investment Conference, all the way to the main Madaraka Day on 1st of June.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, so I think, thank you very much. And I think Felix, thank you for being patient. You can ask your question now.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. I don't know whether you are able to hear me.
Very faintly. Can you increase your mic or speak a bit louder, please, if possible?
Okay. Are you able to get me right?
Okay, I hope somebody here can get you right. Okay, but ask your question. Let's see what happens. Let's go with the flow.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Felix Odhiambo. Yeah, I really first want to take the opportunity to thank you all for such a wonderful presentation. I'm just in love with the statistics that have been presented, and I attest to the fact that they are true. They reveal the image of the society and how our society, especially in view of the youths, are. Now, my concern is about the investments for the youths. I understand we are trying to encourage the youth to invest, And currently, if we look at the situation of issues like unemployment, most of the youth lives on the hands to mouth, and that's what they depend on. There is less income, and that little income to many, or to a good percentage, is not able to even to accommodate them, or rather to sustain them. Now, my concern would be, how is it going to be possible to maybe increase the income? I don't know, or if not to increase the income, but how to help the youth to budget with what they have, in order so that in order for them to set aside a bit of what they earn for the investment. And my second question would also be on how much is the minimum amount that someone can invest, especially in the programs that were shared. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. In fact, you've actually kind of touched on the presentation that that Lucy was talking about. So I'm going to allow Lucy to respond to two questions. One is the whole issue of, you know, the youth are living hand to mouth, high inflation. What are we doing to encourage them to create wealth? And then number two, what's the minimum to invest in shares?
Thank you, Conrad. I think for purposes of enabling even the youth to be able to save, some of the products like the tunes that I mentioned, which you can get more information on from the website, allows you to be saving some money as little as 5 shillings. And if you are consistent on saving, eventually you'll be able to build some capital through which you'll be able to invest, whether in shares or in collective investment schemes, or whatever investment you want to. So the first thing is to try and instill a culture of savings, because number one, the youth, we all need to be disciplined to be able to save, and we also need to think long term. So you have to be patient and build that little money that you're getting, whether today somebody might think the 5 bob isn't something, but today, tomorrow, in a week, that 5 bob times the 7 days a week accumulates to some amount. So if you're patient and you're looking at it from that point of view, then we will all be able to save, or we'll be able to do the best that we can. So the first thing is to now be able to be disciplined and start saving however little it is. Let's just have a culture of saving. And then from there, definitely the products, they are as varied as the various options. We have so many products, so it's just a matter of seeing the amount of money that you have available and what you would want to invest in. The other issue was the minimum amount. Okay, for instance, like the collective investment schemes, there are different fund managers have different limits or different minimum amounts. There are those that can say the initial investment is 5,000. There are those even with 500 you will be able to invest. So we advise that you also do your research, talk to the fund managers and try and see whoever fits your bill. The other issue was on, okay, for instance, if you also want to save, to invest in the shares, it all depends on the share, the company that you want to invest in. We have some shares that are as little as 2 shillings, for instance. KenGen, I think today was trading at about 2 shillings. We have others that are trading then 20 shillings, 30 shillings. So it depends on your interest and your capital, the capital that is available to you. With the bonds, I note it's about 50,000, which might seem a lot, but as I had mentioned, there's the Emakiba, which only requires you to invest about 3,000. And with that, okay, somebody can't miss something somewhere, but the first thing is to be able to save so that you accumulate some money somewhere, and there are various innovative products that will help you be able to save and do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And Felix, I like, there's a statement you made that I think is very powerful and very pleasing to my ear. You said, I am in love with statistics and capital markets. Thank you very much. Those are good, beautiful words to my ears. Now, I think let's take one more question from Sharon Nyata. And then after Sharon's question, then I'll attempt to distribute some questions that we have on the chat here that have not been responded to. So Sharon, allow me to allow you to talk. There you go.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, yes. Maybe a little bit louder. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation and the webinar. My question is, I've learned there are EFTs on the capital market. So I wanted to know, how do the EFTs work and what are the requirements for one to maybe register as an EFT or something like that? Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Any other?
No,
okay, thank you.
I only have that one.
Okay, thank you. So what I'll do is I've noted your question, Sharon, and I'll include that as part of responding to a lot of the questions here. And let me just see. I know that I see that we have one of our the manager for some strategy, Bwana Kivuva. Allow me to give you a chance to say something. Let me just get your information here. Give me a moment. Okay, Bwana Kivuva, you've got the floor. All right, James, you can. Yes, Karibu.
Good. Asante sana. I'm loving the conversation. I just wanted to add something to what Lucy was saying about the saving and how much you can save. I would want to encourage the youth to use the power of numbers. And this is what I'm basically talking about. When you come together, like 10 people, 20 people, you contribute 500 shillings per month, and you put it in a unit trust. A unit trust is where maybe you are able to get 9% per annum, 10% in one of the licensed unit trusts. You'll be able to get returns at the end of the year. And guess what? You could be able to pay yourself dividends at the end of the year. And nothing is too small. 5,000 is not too small. 50,000 is not too small. 500,000 is not too small. So you can just do 10% of that of 50,000 or 500,000 to see how much it will be. When you're giving yourself dividends, just divide by the number of people who've saved and award yourself dividends. And of course, you can, of course, plow back into the savings and so on and so forth. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. So those are very, very good, encouraging words, and we take it kindly and appreciate it. So I think, let me just quickly look at the questions here. I will skip the ones that have been answered because we have the setup where you can actually see everyone's question and answers. Let's see, there's a question. Okay, there's a question for the PS, but it's actually, it says, can CDS account opening fee for the youth be reduced for the youth? Just for the record, there is no CDS fee when you open. There's no fee when you open a CDS account. Okay, and I see there's another question asking about why is there a fee of 50,000 for opening a CDS account? Let me clarify something. On the equity side, when you deal with shares at the CDSE, there's no fee to open a CDS account when you want to buy shares. Let's just stop there, okay? Number two, to open a CDS account that Lucy was talking about at the Central Bank of Kenya, where you want to buy treasury bills or treasury bonds, you know, for treasury bonds, you have a minimum of 100,000, and for treasury bills, you have a minimum of 50,000. It's just the minimum required for that pool of money. It's not a fee, it's the minimum required to invest. So that's a central bank. However, Lucy talked about the Emakiba, which actually reduced it to 3,000. And one of the good things about the new government is the president has tasked capital markets to come up with products that are more conducive for the bottoms up approach, even the, things like Border can invest. So stay tuned for Emma Kiba Reborn. It's coming your way, okay? Let's see, there's a question. How does one get to work with CMA for startups? It's okay. Right now, we're not talking about a career, but for that, look out for another forum. We will include opportunities at CMA. For today, we want to stick to, to investments and creating wealth, and not to lose the question about exchange traded funds. Not to ambush our senior manager, Bwana Kimunyu. I don't know if you can give us a highlight of exchange traded funds, the ones we have in Kenya, and maybe what's the advantage of having an exchange traded fund. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Conrad, for that question around the exchange traded fund. I think, yes, indeed, we have exchange traded fund. Currently, we have the gold one from South Africa. And the good thing about this exchange traded fund is the fact that it's backed by gold. And currently, as you're aware, across the globe, we're having issues on inflation. And then when you have issues on inflation, the gold becomes a very key, because you're able to have your money sort of tagged to gold, which does not suffer, in terms of this inflation. So you are quite having an advantage if you put your money in this kind of an exchange traded fund, because the more you find yourself in a situation whereby the financial sector is suffering, then this becomes a safe haven for a lot of investors to be able to invest in this kind of products. Yeah, so exchange traded funds, what they do is that they're actually pegged on certain underlying products, and in this case, we're talking about gold for the purposes of the Kenyan situation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I see. Thank you, Bwana Kimunyu. There's another question. I don't know if this is answered. Let's see. There's a question on from Emmanuel saying, I tried using the app but had a lot of challenges. Hope it was resolved. I'm not sure what app you're referring to, but there should not be an issue. If you've got an issue, please let us know. And I know there's another question saying that I think there's a question about there should not be about Dosika. Somebody said that you've only got 6 or 5 intermediaries. Just for the record, Dosika will eventually have, the goal is to have all intermediaries onboarded, okay, stockbrokers. But for right now, there are 6. And that number will keep increasing. Okay, so it's a fairly new product and they need to be onboarded. But you understand, it's an API interface. So they each have their own system, so it has to happen sequentially. But thank you. Let's see. The question on okay, questions about employment. I promise you, we will include them in the next forum. We'll actually have a session and invite our human resource, or we call them people and culture, to talk about opportunities in CMA and the programs that we have here. Okay, thank you. I see a question about the regulatory sandbox and saying we don't have enough information about the sandbox. That's a very good statement. And in fact, what comes to mind is in the next forum, we'll be sure to include the sandbox and the people and culture. Okay. Let's see, I'm just speaking opportunity.
Maybe just to add on the issue of the regulatory sandbox, just to say that if you go to our website, we just have a section that really talks about the regulatory sandbox, and someone is able to get all the information they might want to get in terms of how do you come in, how do you apply it, and how do you proceed after exit from the sandbox. So feel free, but as Conrad has said, we have experts within this meeting and within CMA who can actually be able to take you through that. And we are promising that in the next series of these webinars, we should be able to speak to a certain extent on Sandbox. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana Kimunyu. And actually, while you're still talking, there's a very good question about from Jeffrey saying, kindly advise on investing in companies authorized by CMA. Some are not authorized, example, Cyton. So I know we get that question a lot. So I don't know if you want to say something about, I know there's some issues at the court cases, but what can you say about, first of all, Cyton, just to clear the air? And then what can you say about to advise them about unregistered or unlicensed companies?
Just maybe the point to make here is that we keep telling Kenyans that they should invest in regulated products. So if you're looking for regulated products, you'll be able to see those regulated products in our website, or you'll be able to confirm that a product is regulated by just either checking with CMA or actually going to the website of the CMA. So because I think the most important thing when you're making an investment is to ensure that in the event of a problem, then what becomes the recourse. So they say that invest with exit in sight. So you're thinking around, okay, I'm buying these products. The question is, in the event I had a problem, what's my recourse? And even in case I wanted to exit and there were issues, then who do I go to? The moment you find yourself in a situation whereby you have no go-to person in the event that the product you've been sold, you're not happy with, then that becomes a red flag. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There's an interesting question, and I'll attempt to answer it. It's about the CDS account regulations. That if it's inactive for the year, it'll be closed. I have a running investment, but do not have a gap. Now, initially, there's a 2-year. They call them dormant accounts. That if there's no activity, but it doesn't mean that your investment is not safe. And if I'm not mistaken, and somebody correct me, I believe that was actually, it was reversed. So that means no dormant account exists. So investment is safe. So you're absolutely okay with that. Let's see, I'm just going on. Former CMA University. A question. How does the department plan to aid the youth with mentorship and funding towards achieving a target set by His Excellency the President of youth trading in the NSE? President Ruto on majority of youth trading in NSE. So how do you plan to help the youth actually trade? Maybe I'll give this into Lucy. Yeah, the question is, there's a question by Lois Ruger. And sorry, how does the department plan to aid the youth with mentorship and funding towards achieving the target set by His Excellency the President on majority of the youth trading in the NSE? So what are we doing to help the youth actually trade in shares? Now, they talk about funding. We don't give funding to the youth, but how do we help them create funding to invest?
Thank you, Conrad. Yes, I think we are limited in terms of we are not able to give any funding, but all we do is share this information and take you through the details that you may want to, because we believe that an informed investor is a protected investor. And once you get all this information, you will be able to make informed decisions when it comes to matters investment. So that is one of the ways we are contributing towards achieving the president's desires to have the youth also invest. Additionally, when we are coming with these things like the mobile app, we are considering that the youth are so ICT, they are very savvy when it comes, and they have these mobile phones, and they're always looking for new things to do. And the mobile app is one of the ways that we facilitate you get the information and help you to trade or to transact in within the industry. And slowly by slowly, I think we will get there.
Maybe just one thing to add, Conrad, to what Lucy has said very correctly. I think there are two things. One, yes, she's talked about two things. One is just really giving the information to the youth. Number two, just technology. Dosika now is an app that we're using, and also the CMA app. But just to add on that is the increasingly we are trying to reduce the limit that you the minimum amount that you can invest, so that we are talking about figures that the youth can afford. If you look at now, and a lot of unit trusts with 500 or even below, you should be able to begin to invest in unit trust shares. Like Lucy said earlier, you can invest with as little as 200 shillings, because the minimum number of shares you need is 100. And if a share is costing 2 shillings, then you do your mathematics and you find that with 200 shillings, you already begin to invest in the market. There's a question that has been asked around whether there's a guaranteed return. And when investing, or should one also be prepared to get losses from initial deposits? The investments in the capital markets are different. If you're investing in shares, that's a high risk area, but then it also has high returns. So the thing we usually say is that get correct advice, get a professional if you need to, but more importantly, diversify, so that if you're investing in a number of companies, one could actually go down and then you're left with the others that are doing well. So, I mean, the diversification whereby you don't put all your eggs in one basket is very, very key, because you find sometimes people are complaining about a certain particular company not doing too well. But then if they had invested in a number of companies, they would be able to also still be in the money, because it's not all the time that you find that all the shares are actually going down. The other thing also is just really to get advice, so that even you're coming to the market and you are not very conversant with the market, then I think certain people will be able to tell you which are some of the areas that you can actually invest in the market. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I think very good information. Still moving on, and I think we've got about 5 more minutes because we're really strict with time. And for those of you that came a bit early, there's a question on how do we ensure investor protection, especially in the capital markets. And let me just say that investor protection is a key mandate to ensure that investments are protected. And one of the things that we do for issuers, listed companies, is to make sure there's a lot of disclosure, so that you, the investing public, actually knows any issues happening that's material information. We're currently redoing our public offers and listing disclosure regulations. They'll even make it even create more transparency. So there's a lot that we do. We have a stewardship code. We have a governance code, a corporate governance. So there's a lot that we're doing to make sure that you're protected. Okay, and then you've got a follow-up question about. It's a question about. I think you talk about the DOSICA. There's a requirement for a CDS account before trading after registration with a broker. How do you open a CDS? How do you get a number? Very simple. You can either go to your broker, select a broker, and then they'll help you get a CDS form, or you can go to CDSC and then fill up a CDS form 1, and then it's as simple. And again, there's no charge. Nobody should charge you for that, and it's as simple as that. So it's a good thing. If you'd like to select your broker, we've got a whole list of our licensees on our website under licensees. You can actually look there. And you can actually interview them so that you can make a decision. Nobody's going to force you to go with any broker. It's up to you, and there's a lot of information there. Okay. There's a question, and it seems more of an economic question, and I'm going to give this to Bwana Kamunyu, who's our economist. Why is the Kenyan capital markets not performing as well as it should? Most of the money needed for development is obtained through banks and not the capital markets. Bwana Kamunyu.
Very good question there around why we are having a situation whereby the capital market is not doing as well. As you might be aware, the starters for this market were the banks. So what we're trying to do now is to really, increase awareness. We are trying to also increase the range of products, and also just really to prepare the capital market to stand in the gap in trying to close the gap of funding. If you look at what is happening currently, there's a lot of requirement for funding of in affordable housing. There's requirement for funding manufacturing. So there has been a challenge that has been thrown to the capital market industry by the president and indeed the government to try and actually be able to stand there and be able to offer these finances. So there is a lot of work going on in terms of even trying to reduce the requirement for companies that are coming to market, just to make sure that it becomes very easy for this institution to be able to offer, funds. To be able to get funds from the capital market industry. So we're looking at a situation where very soon we should be able to be seeing a lot of, funds being sought from the capital market industry. We believe that there is money enough to fund some of these projects, any bankable project that would be able to come and structured in the right manner in the capital market industry should be able to get uptake. And we encourage SMEs, companies that have bankable project to actually come forward and uptake these products.
Oh, thank you. And before you turn off your microphone, there's a good question anonymously. Is there a guarantee of getting returns when investing, or should one be prepared to get a loss from initial deposits? Take that one.
Conrad, I've actually just responded to that question. And what I actually said is that there's no guarantee. So, and when there's no guarantee, what we're saying is that once you come to invest in this market, one of the key rule is that you need to diversify, so that in the event that one company doesn't perform too well, then you'll be left with maybe a few that would be performing well. And once you do the maths, you still find that you are still getting money from the market. And then number two, I said, among other things, is really to get advice, so that, once you're coming in, what are the fundamentals of that particular company. Is the company expected to be on a growth path? So if you look at that, then you're able to come to the market. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation whereby one company is not performing too well, but if you have the right advice, then you have also diversified, you should be able to be okay.
All right, thank you so much. Wow, so many, these are very good questions. I think we've all got a headache, a good headache, and that shows the appetite of capital markets. And I think at this point, it's about 5:31.
No, maybe just let me just make a further clarification. In the event that maybe one is coming to the capital market industry and for some reason your risk appetite is not that high, that is, you don't feel like you really, the money that you're actually investing is money that you really would, you wouldn't want to lose at all. So there are a range of products. If you come to the market and invest in bonds, often than not, government, like for example, government bonds, government do not default ideally. So you have a level of certainty that you continue receiving your returns. And in the event that then you want your money back, you can actually go to the market and actually sell the bond and get your money back. So bonds are safe, but the returns you get are not as high, because you find that currently a bond of 5 years is really having a return of about 10 to 14%. So with that, then it's a return, but you are guaranteed of that return. But the thing is that maybe you want more return. Again, if you invest in money market fund, that is a unit trust that usually deals with money market. Again, these people, the fund managers, when they pick your money and pick the money from other people, they put them together and then they actually invest in money markets. Again, you have some sort of a certainty that you continue getting your return in interest, and also at the end of the maturity of the bond. Or rather, when you really want to get out of the unit trust, you can actually just get out by within 24 hours. You should be able to be assisted to get out of that investment. But now, when you want now to have high returns, that's what I was talking about earlier. That is the share market. The share market can give you so much money, because like you look at Safaricom came in at 5 shillings. It went as low as 2 shillings and I think 70 cents. Some people sold, and so they got losses. But then some people kept in, and the share went beyond almost 40 shillings. So you can see people are able to make money in that particular industry. Now the issue is, if you didn't have that time to actually wait, or you are a panicky person, you find that you go into 2 shillings and 70 cents and you sell. So it's a risky area, but with time and also with if you're consistent, then you're able to make money. So that's what we keep saying, that can you diversify across assets? Like if it's bond, have some few bonds, have some money in the unit trust, and then have money in shares. But even when it is within one asset class, even if it is investment in shares only, you need to go along a number of shares. If it is investment in bonds, investment in government securities, you might also want to invest a bit of your money in corporate bonds. So I think the key word is really diversify, and you can only diversify properly if you have the right advice or you have the technical know-how. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Very good. You can tell that much information that's here. I've got a final two questions, and I'll give that to Lucy Charamba. Very good question from Catherine Muthoni. And I know, Lucy, you've been dealing with this quite a bit. Catherine is a college trainer by profession and has noticed that most youth have little knowledge about stocks. How will you fill the gap? And then another question by CPA Kimutai Nelson. Are you giving certificates of participation for CPD hours? Take it away.
Thank you, Catherine, for your question, and thank you, Corey. Now, Catherine, we normally conduct forums for students in colleges or universities, and we would be happy to have such a forum for your students if you'll be able to organize for us. It's normally for free. Alternatively, we can even have your students come to the authority, then we take them through a session and enlighten them on some of these things. We can, I think I'll drop you our email address. We can engage further and see how we can collaborate more on this, but we are always available. We're always facilitating students from institutions to learn more about capital markets and about the stocks and how they can invest and everything financial literacy and capital markets. With regard to Nelson, now certificate for participation for this forum. Unfortunately, this one we had not planned to issue certificates, but perhaps going forward we can consider and see whether we'll be able to issue, even if it's an certificate. But thank you for participating and raising the questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think you've done some very good justice. Let me, before we close, and my apologies if I'm ambushing you, could I please allow June Chepkemei, acting CEO, Can Invest, to maybe give some remarks, closing remarks to this our youth. I know you're a guru in marketing and communications from a previous career before you joined Can Invest, so maybe you can give some encouraging words, and we thank you. Karibu.
Much appreciated. This has been a great enlightening webinar. I have indeed learned a lot. I think I'll make my CDS account more active than I did before, but just to encourage the young people that for you to really make it and achieve your dreams, you have to start now. It is never too early, neither is it too late. It is not too little, neither it is too much. So you start where you are, start with what you have, and you really must have your vision clear, and vision without steps to ensure that you move closer to your vision is really nothing but a dream. But just as been said before, dreams are valid. Yes, I am a managing director at a younger age, below 40, and it all started when I was in high school. I started investing in high school as early as Form 1 all the way. By the time I was joining campus, I keep joking that I didn't really enjoy campus because I would drive myself to campus, but it was out of my sweat. So I got a job first, immediately after high school. By the time I was joining university, I was already working. By the time I was graduating, I had 4 years work experience. By the time I was having my second degree, master's, I already had 6 years experience. So that allows you to build up. Same applies to investment. Start slowly, keep building, keep growing, and it will surprise you. So I'm happy to have conversations. I'm happy to run with you as young people and try and allow you identify those role models that fits into where you want to be. Being here today is a testament that you have clarity of your vision, and let's go together. Let's work together. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm so inspired by your words, June, and I'm old. So thank you very much. And I saw Bwana Wycliffe Shamia. Maybe Bwana Shama, you want to say a little kwaheri to our youth over here?
No, I think it has been very interesting to just hear the discussion and perhaps maybe to just assure those who are still on the call, we will try to arrange more of these sessions, and I think we'll bring in more people. I like the testimony we got from June. And of course, I think even the PS just speaking about his experience. So for the youth who are here, for the women who are here, we shall support you. I think there is a lot of knowledge which I think we couldn't just share all in 2 hours, but I think we will continue having such sessions so that we reach to as many as we can. So from where I sit and on behalf of CMA is just to thank all those who are still in the call, those who found time actually to sit with us through, and obviously the team which is putting together such sessions. So thank you so much, and back to you, Conrad.
Okay, thank you, Brother Wycliffe, and I see you're working late at the office. Asante sana. Okay, and now before we close, we'll allow our Senior Manager for Education, Awareness and Certification, Brother Kamunyi Njoroge, to maybe give us some parting words.
Thank you very much, Coron. Of course, it's not in order to speak up the CEO, so I'll be very quick to make my point and exit. The only thing I would just say is just call to action for the people who are in this webinar. Just go into our CMA app. You can actually be able to download that from Play Store or App Store. And you should be able to get yourself on a journey towards beginning to invest in this industry. You can also go to the Dosika app. Again, it's also on Play Store and it's also on App Store. Again, this one will actually make you be able to open a CDS account, and it will also be able to give you an opportunity to begin investing within the capital market. With as little as 200 shillings, you can already begin to invest. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much indeed, everyone. And thank you very much for the PS. If there's someone who can still continue and pass that regard to him, also to June, just coming in and becoming very useful in terms of really just giving, good words to, the youth. And also to, very importantly, our chief executive, staying in from the beginning until now, and also being able to come back and say a few words. We are very grateful. And finally, like the CEO has said, the team that we are here, just to thank all of you for making this happen. Let's keep doing what we're doing. Asanteni sana.
All right, thank you very much. And Bwana Kamunyi, are you buying us? It's almost 6. What about dinner? You promised our youth some food. Are you going to order pizza? Come on, something.
Not a problem. I'm more than happy to offer that online. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you heard him. So go wherever you go, order a pizza. And then let me give you his credit card number. It's 544 Visa. I'm just teasing. All right, have a blessed evening, and we'll meet again. Thank you so much. You're free to leave. Thank you.